am here today with my incredible client, Sehar Shahid. She is a visionary and empire builder, founder of 24-Hour Pharmacy, a board member of the National Pharmaceutical Association, an advisor to other online pharmacies in the industry. This powerhouse woman is really setting the bar, raising the standards, building the future of her industry. And I am incredibly honoured to have this conversation with you today, Sahar, and to showcase your work and your journey of us working together. So, welcome.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. So, just to kind of start off, I would love to ask you, where were you like, emotionally, in your energy, and in your business since before we started working together?
Yeah, so I was definitely in a place of feeling very burnt out, overwhelmed, stressed. I was kind of in the midst of just setting up my online pharmacy. Things weren't going to plan as they do in any business. So I just really felt really, really stuck. Like, and self-doubt was creeping in. Have I done the right thing? Am I making the right decisions? Like maybe it's me. All the kind of questions were popping into my head and just felt like I just could not think straight. That's literally how I felt. And then cue in Frankie that comes in to save my life. Is it really? That's like exactly what happened.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And your story, the way you have held the line and held your vision and continuously expanded your vision and the things that you're creating now, which we'll get into, has just been so, so, so inspiring. So when you were at this point where the doubt was creeping in, the doubt within yourself and the doubt within your vision, what was it that made you say yes to making another investment when you were already making so many investments in your business and not seeing that financial return yet? What made you
So I
take
think Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. So we obviously met like maybe about 6 months prior or so before I actually kind of started working with you. And straight away, instantly, we just kind of connected. I just loved your energy, Frankie. And I think for me, energy speaks a lot, and how you connect with somebody and how genuine they can be. And I just felt this genuine warmth and willing to be that support and that encourager and I just loved that and and I felt like whenever I spoke to you you just genuinely cared, and I think that was one of the things that I loved. The other thing as well that I had invested in another coach who it was fine, but I just felt like it was quite transactional. So if I wasn't booking another session, then it was just there was no dialogue sort of thing, and I struggled with that because for me a coach is building, having a coach is someone that you can build a long-term relationship with, and bounce things off of and all that kind of stuff. But I felt like coaching and having a mentor shouldn't be transactional. And that's how I felt. And for me, that also kind of drawed me more towards how I felt when I worked with you or had conversations with you. And then thirdly, the other thing was I was just seeing the impact you were having on other people. So, I was introduced to you through an amazing friend of ours, Rachel. And I was just seeing the impact you were having on her because I knew she was working with you. And I just seen like how you were showing up on social media. I just really related to you because you really like your messaging around your services, your what you do with your clients was just so genuine, and it was very much about caring for that person, that individual, like, rather than it just being another number in your business. And that's what I love. So combination of all these things, we were just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it because like she's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. And I love this. And that is the power of the heart, right? When we're shifting out of ego, cutthroat business into really embodying that heart-led entrepreneurship, we can create so much more. And it is about that heart-to-heart connection. So, yeah, thanks for that. And I love that that came through. So we've worked together privately, and you're also in the self-sourced mastermind. What
Yeah.
has really shifted for you whilst being in the mastermind and in my private coaching containers? What would you say has been the biggest transformations and the biggest shifts?
My goodness, how long have you got, Frankie? I just feel like I'm just a very, very different person, in so many areas. So even just like my stress levels were like through the roof before. Every little thing that went wrong in business or just day-to-day life, I would get very stressed and, worked up about it. And I just feel like I'm so much calmer now because I've just been able to like learn from you about really just standing in my own power,
Mhm.
like absolutely having full confidence in myself, and just really getting so concrete and strong on my vision that when things aren't going right, like I'm just like, it's okay, it's fine, it's part of it. And that's one of the things that like I definitely have noticed in the last year. So a year ago, when something had gone wrong, or if I got bad news, like that's not happening, or things are being delayed, it would literally just knock me off, and I'd be really stressed out and upset for like, a week, and then, it'd hinder like moving forward. Now I give myself 5 minutes and, I'll have a cry or I'll get annoyed and then I'm straight back up. That resilience has been inbuilt through the private coaching, the self-source, and being just around you in that sense, because that's one of the biggest things I think that I've, learned and kind of grown is through resilience, because obviously, so many things have happened since setting up my business, like the good, bad, the ugly. And honestly, I know that I'll probably write a book about it one day or be on a TED Talk or something, because you literally could not make up all the things that were happening. It was like, I'd put one fire out and then another fire would start, and it was constant. But I think the ability that I now have is that you could literally throw anything at me and I'd be like, cool, hit me with it. Like, whereas a year ago, before all your kind of coaching and stuff, I would just be like, oh my God, why me? Why is this happening? And not really understand. And it would really, really affect my energy. And I think one of the biggest things as well is like I know when my energy is good and I'm on a, higher vibration, I'm just more positive, I'm attracting all the good things in my business. But what I was doing back then was, because I was being so negative and I was like getting overwhelmed and stressed, I was just attracting more of that stuff. Now, it's not to say that nothing goes wrong. Of course it does, because that's life, right? But I think with the right energy, like I feel like I'm handling things a lot better. So I think that's definitely one. And I think for me as well, like it's hard like to explain to people when like I've had a lot of comments over the last few months like you just look amazing. You're just like you look amazing, and I honestly think it's to do with my energy. Like you have this natural inner glow, like you're just like your energy is different. You just got a spring in your step. I really do believe that's because of the inner work, like the constant like the gratitude, like affirming everything that you believe in, and prayer and all of these things like that we get taught through the programs, like it's just it changes you like physically from the outside. You get this, everyone starts to notice there's something different about you. And I haven't done anything different, but to different makeup look or new hairstyle is nothing like that, but people just like they notice your energy.
Mm.
um, and I just feel like, even just being around other women in that retainer and that membership, I think that's huge as well. And I think that's also been the power that I've learned over the last years. Put yourself in rooms where you feel supported, and really like, heard, and you get to be yourself, like, rather than trying to fit someone else's agenda. I think for me that was a big thing as well, because a year ago I was struggling, being in certain groups that, just weren't aligned with my values, but I was too scared to say, no, this doesn't feel right for me. Because that was because they were friends or whatever. But as you kind of are on your entrepreneur journey, you grow and like you develop, and as much as I love like people that are around me, sometimes they just don't understand the journey that you're on, or why you have this big vision, or why you're working really hard. And sometimes that's hard because then those relationships aren't the same as they used to be, because you're sometimes outgrowing it. So I think for me, it was about kind of just making sure that I'm supporting myself with the people that understand my vision, understand like why I've got this really strong work ethic, what why I'm doing this, and the ones that are always encouraging me and just saying, cheerleading. I think that's really, really important. So I think they're kind of been like some of the major kind of highlights, but even though the kind of one-to-one coaching and the self-source has been kind of more around like yourself and your business and things like that, I definitely feel like the lessons that I've learned in there has impacted my personal relationships.
Mhm.
Like again, it was like little things would really annoy me with my husband. He is the most amazing guy, but little things would just annoy me because, and it wasn't him doing anything, it was because I was in a place where I was stressed and overwhelmed. So he would breathe and I'd be like, oh my God, why are you breathing? Like, it was like that. So now I just feel like I've just got so much gratitude. Like, and I've learned that from you directly, Frankie, like just having so much gratitude and appreciation for, in your relationships and just having more patience and things like that. And my husband does say, he's like, he goes, "Are you okay? Like, I don't recognize you anymore." I'm like really proud that you're not like you're losing your shit right now. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but literally, like, so it impacts like how you are in your relationships. It impacts like how you are as a mum. You know, so yeah, I just feel like it's not just been positive impact on like business, but definitely me as a person personally, and then it filters into your relationships, whether you like it or not. Like it just happens, which is great.
Oh my God. Yeah. And it's just been so gorgeous to watch you claim yourself and step into your power and really step into like that big, bold, audacious CEO and really cultivate what it takes to scale and grow that like incredible vision that you have got. It's been amazing and such an honor to watch you step into that and really soften as well, soften into your feminine and feel that abundance in your relationships and yourself. So yeah, it's just been an absolute pleasure to witness this complete transformation in you and you're just getting started. You're just getting
Definitely.
started. What would you say has surprised you about our journey together, if anything?
I just didn't think that I would see this change in myself because for so long, like I've just been like, it's got, a perfectionist, like it's got to be this certain way. I've learned to kind of like just be a bit more calmer around things or not let myself get so overwhelmed. Like, I was somebody that, had really bad anxiety in the past and things like that, through different seasons of my life, like when things were quite tough, like, everyone's kind of gone through some hardships in their life, everyone does, um, or trauma. But I think for me, it was just like, I just thought like I can never change, like, that's just how we all are. And it honestly, it's been like magic. And I'll give you an example. Like I think as well, I've learned a lot from you about how we kind of really nurture our own bodies. Like for the last year, like a year ago, I was with a health and fitness coach that, really made me feel horrible about my body. Like, that I wasn't good enough because I wasn't losing the weight, or, I wasn't good enough because I wasn't hitting my steps every day. And I just felt completely like a failure because I was never hitting the goals every day. So and I think that's really interesting because that coaching style may work for some people, but it didn't work for me. And actually, it was doing the opposite effect. And that just goes, and the same rule applies for when you're looking for a business coach as well. Like, I love how you and me work. Like, I gained so much from you and you kind of speak my language, if that makes sense. And therefore, like if you told me to go and do anything, I'd go and do it. Like literally, I would do it. Like because Frankie told me to. But that's because we have that relationship. So I think it's really important finding the right coach that works for you. And then when I found a different coach for my fitness, but also doing the kind of energy work and being more in my feminine energy, because I was always in my masculine energy, like being the boss, like doing all the stuff, like work, 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 like I just forgot to kind of soften and like kind of relax. And I think that was hindering a lot of like trying to lose weight.
Mhm.
And since January this year, like I've managed to lose like weight and it's just happened. Like just on its own, like I've not done anything drastic, like, just doing all the kind of daily habits. And I think for me, that's been the thing that I've been able to teach myself that I can do it and I can be consistent, whether that's in business, whether that's in fitness, whether that's in relationships, I can do it. Because for a long time I was just like, well, it's just not me. I just can't do it. I can't do 10,000 steps. I just can't do it. Oh well. Like, and the thing that I've learned is that it's what we tell our minds. Like, if you tell your mind you can't do 10,000 steps, like you're not going to do 10,000 steps, right? If you tell yourself you can't scale this business up, you're not going to scale it up. And a lot of the work that we've done, like through self sources, like is just believing that you can and rewiring like your mindset around that. So for me, that's been the biggest thing. Like, realizing that, oh my God, I can change and I can be continuing to improve myself. Like and I've seen that transformation. So it's been amazing.
Been incredible to watch and really watch you focus on your desires. So many of us have been programmed to focus on the problems, what's going wrong, and worry about what we don't want, right? And when
Yeah.
we start to focus on, when you're focusing on like the body that you want, the vitality that you want, the health that you want, the success, the opportunities, and the PR opportunities that
Yeah.
you've recently manifested as well, like for you, you're just in that gold zone. All of these things are coming in and you're receiving the health results, the body results, the business scaling, and these incredible PR opportunities and the
I know.
visibility that you've been manifesting. It's just magical.
It's crazy because when I look back a year ago, I was attracting all the negative stuff because that's all I was worried about. I was worried about, the business. How are we going to, scale this up? Like, how are we going to get more money into the business? That's all I was worried about, all the negative stuff. And I remember you would always say to me, stop focusing on that. And then I remember every time I'd have like a bit of a pep talk with you, I'd switch my energy up, I'd focus on like the more positive stuff, and then I'd be like, Frankie, guess what just happened? Like, this happened, or this opportunity came along, and and literally that is what's been happening now. Like only 2, 3 weeks ago when we met up for dinner, I was saying like really wanted to get some more PR work and blah blah blah. And then out of the blue, I was asked to be on STV News on Tuesday, and that was my first time being on the news, and my kids were just like, "Oh my God, Mummy's on TV." They've watched it on repeat so many times, and it's so funny. And so I really, really do believe that it's all about focusing on what you want, the goal. Don't even worry about the how you're going to get there. Like just focus on like the end goal, and you will absolutely get there. So yeah, it's been good.
Incredible, incredible. And I remember after one session, you were focusing on sales in the pharmacy. And a week later, you called me and you said, I've just had more sales, like
I know,
after doing the
I know.
energy work than
Yeah.
what I've spent in Google ads over several months.
Uh-huh. Yeah, crazy. It's crazy because like I hadn't done anything different on Google Ads. It was exactly all the same, but then it was just they were just orders were coming in. I was like, oh my God, is this how it like is this the magic? Is this how it works? Is this because there has always been an element of like when you hear people talking about like you manifest things or you just like track things and you're just like, do you really? Right. And I was definitely one of those people. And I'm not saying like I can just manifest anything I ever want, right? Because it does take work. It is all about your energy and your vision and all of that, and you've got to be consistent at it. And that's something that, I need to be better at all the time. We can be better, but I definitely think is when I notice when I change my energy and my energy is more positive, then you're just focusing on the right things. You're getting rid of like the focus that's on the negative things that are wasting your energy and bringing your energy down. So when you're focusing on the good things and keep your energy high, like you then will attract more of that. And I've seen it happen. It's quite scary.
You're the magnet. You're the magnet.
Yeah.
And what is next for you in your business? What's next for you?
So I'm really, really excited because I feel like we're just at such a crucial point because we have worked really hard to like kind of get it to this point where we're operational and we're building a really good patient base. We're, helping lots of patients through all our services, and now it's about scaling it up. So lots more PR stuff, like getting out there, getting out of a comfort zone, getting known, loads of new like marketing strategy as well. We've got a content shoot straight after this call, which is exciting. And then we've got like a vision just to kind of build an even better platform for our patients as well. So that's going to come in the next 6 months. So lots of things are happening, which is really, really exciting. And I just know that you know, it's gonna be upwards from here, which is really, really exciting. So yeah, and I think for me now that I'm in a place where I'm not so overwhelmed, I'm not so like stressed out and burnt out, like feel like I've got my time back as well a little bit because I'm not kind of concentrating my time for money. I'm looking at ways to, have passive income. So I've got a couple of other ideas, like another business that I want to get set up as well, which I've got a really good marketing company that's supporting me with that. So and it's all going to link in. So all the kind of businesses and stuff, they all kind of link in and support one another as well. So for me, it's just about doing more of the things that I'm passionate about. So a lot of people say, "Oh my God, you're doing too much." But the thing for me is that because now I'm finally in a place in my life where I'm doing all the things that I'm so passionate about, that I absolutely love and enjoy, to me it doesn't feel like, "Oh my God, it's a lot of work." To me, it's just like, this is what I'm here for. This is what my mission is. And a big part is to support other women as well to become, leaders, to progress in their careers, to start their businesses, like to do all the things that sometimes we feel like we're not capable of doing, because I was certainly that woman. Um, and I just know that I know I need to be the advocate for so many other people. And, I've been able to speak at events and things like that, inspiring other women. Like, there's another event next week where I'm speaking at. So I think for me, when I get like even just yesterday, I had a message on my Instagram stories and I'd shared about how I had just shared a story on my Instagram to say that thank you so much for all the love about being on STV News and things like that. And I said for me that day was actually really quite special because in the morning I was representing my profession on TV, but then in the evening I was invited to Scottish Parliament to represent Pakistan. Again, my culture. So two very things that I'm very, very passionate and proud of. I got to represent in that one day. And for me that means a lot. And I was just sharing that. And I had a message from somebody and said, you have no idea how many of us are inspired by you, and you make us believe that we can do it too. And for me, that message was just so lovely because it just, sometimes like you put yourself out there on social media, you're in your own kind of bubble, building your business, and something you don't realize like who's actually watching you and is sitting there thinking, oh my God, like she's inspiring me, or oh my God, that's amazing that she's doing that. I never thought that I could do something like that because they relate to somebody like me, like an Asian female, for example, a mum, a wife, so for me, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do in the future around kind of empowering other women as well, because I think, yeah, I think it's important to have role models.
Mhm. And I love this so much. You're already creating such a deep impact in your community, in our community, in the industry, and for women in business everywhere. And I know for sure that as you deepen into this journey, that impact is just going to grow and grow, which is
Mhm.
incredible. And sometimes the ROI, it's just way beyond financial gain, and that's where
100%.
the impact, the mission, the purpose becomes the driver. And also you touched about on having time freedom as well, which is absolutely priceless. We don't get our time back. Time is
Yeah.
our most precious resource. And I love how you're really intentionally spending your time. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, and just a massive thank you to you, Frankie, because a lot of this transformation has been because of you. So a huge thank you, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you. What would you say to anyone who is feeling into working with me in private coaching or any of the programs?
I would say like just bloody do it. Like, because like time is just gonna go by so fast, right? We have such an infinite time in this world, and to be able to become the best version of yourself and leave a legacy is the most amazing thing. And working with you is because you're such a heartfelt leader, and coach and mentor. I think for me, that is the most precious thing. Like, if you are choosing or what, kind of in between, like, should I do it, should I not? Is it this Frankie or another coach? I would just say, like, because you are such a heart-led leader, like, you will always be looked after by Frankie. And I think as well, like, the thing what you're really good at, Frankie, is just breathing that belief into people that they can do it. Like, you're so intuitive, like, you're just so genuine. Like, you've never said anything to me that you didn't believe, right? Like, you wouldn't be like, yeah, 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 your business is going to be amazing, but then actually it is not, that's not what you believe. And I think that's really important, because when you see a lot of coaches, like, they'll give you all the talk, like, they'll give you all that chat, but for me, working with you, it's about real substance. It's real action, real things that you can, practical things that you can go away and do and see the results. So I would say, if you're sitting on the fence, like, get off that fence and just jump in. Like, that's what I would say, because you literally will be transformed. Like, you will literally be a different person, and you will be so much more closer to the goals, the vision, and the life that you want to live. Like, genuinely.
Thank you so much. I'm about to cry now. So,
Oh, don't
um,
cry.
it's been such an honor and a pleasure to have this conversation and just co-create you with you in all the ways. Sahar, thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
Yeah, thank you.